Kyle Shanahan, how about this? No hat. No hat. Tie. And a real tie, not a clip-on. I don't know what got into Kyle Shanahan last week. It's time for business.
I think it's standard draft protocol there.
That look where you undo the button and you pull the tie down a little bit, that is dad who got home from a long day at work look. But maybe it was a long day of work, long day of sweat, and they weren't on the clock until 31. They get a receiver in Ricky Pearsall, and not a shock given the uncertainty they have, short-term and long-term, with their top two receivers, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk.
I mean, this is like this. You've heard me tell this story before. This is where coaches got to be careful. They draft guys that remind them of themselves, and I want to remind all these coaches, none of you were that good. You didn't play in the NFL. Why do you want to do that? I don't know. But look at my guy right here, right? My guy could really run routes. There's no doubt about that, right? I mean, he was a special route runner. And it's kind of like if he was a little behind his time, right? Like if he was like 10 years younger, right? Where he could have, like, the slot player was a real thing, right? In college football in the NFL, he probably would have played in the NFL because he was made for that. But like the slot thing in 2001 college football was not a real thing right there, right? So, yeah, but either way, I know his point. I know what he's trying to say. I would go Ricky Pearsall reminds me of a better Adam Thielen than a better Kyle Shanahan. I think that'll sell better, okay? But that's what he is. And, yeah, I mean, Shanahan, at that pick there in the draft, they were a little bit in that no man's land like we talked about so many times. And, you know, I think Pearsall is the kind of guy he's always looking for. Got all the physical talent that he likes, let alone an incredible route runner. And Shanahan's one of those guys that knows how to use route runners and get them open.
I guarantee you there is another show in the world on this day where you will be getting Chris Simms and Kyle Shanahan. Texas.
They're missing out right there. They're missing out. Ago. Damn, we were good.
Yeah, I love watching your highlights because I love watching the left-handed throw because we don't have enough left-handers. I mean, that's the Michael.
And we're not going to get to see him this year. He just sit on the damn bench for a while. Damn it.
We need more. We need more lefties. We need more lefties in the NFL. Okay, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan also addressing trade talks. This is from both Thursday and Friday of last week. Brandon Aiyuk, and late to the conversation was this possibility that Deebo Samuel would be in the mix. Here's what they had to say about both of those guys.
I know that we're continuing to have positive talks with BA, and we are really efforting to get something done with him, and we're excited about continuing down that path. And Brandon being a part of this team, Deebo is a part of this team and a big part of this team.
Would you close the door on a trade?
Never close the door on a trade.
Yeah, I thought it was unlikely going into it, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. So, I mean, you listen to everything. Everything's about trying to improve our team as much as we can for 2024 without with jeopardizing 25 as much as possible. So that's everything you look into, and whenever that opportunity comes, whichever way, if you can improve your team, you do that. Sometimes it's hard to picture proving your team, though, without them.
Was there any other trade talks that people come looking hard at Deebo or Aiyuk today?
We didn't entertain any of that today. You know, we're happy with our wide receiver group. Actually, more than happy. We're really thrilled with it, and thrilled to have added Ricky to that group and even make it stronger.
Love those guys. We thought they'd be on our team yesterday, still do, and we still always listen to everybody till the end of. I don't want to give a bad quote for you guys. Almost did it again, but yeah, that doesn't change yesterday, today, tomorrow, ever.
Just a reminder.
He's scared of you. He's scared of making quotes. Yeah. He doesn't want you writing some stupid quote on the top of PFT.
Point that I made earlier, though, in the Kirk Cousins item that we posted this morning. The team is always going to do what's in its best interest. It's always going to do what's right for it. Never going to close the door on a trade, except, if you have Patrick Mahomes. But it's all driven by what is best for the team. And if it happens to be what also is best for the player, that's coincidental. They're never going to do anything except this Travis Kelce contract where, they righted the wrongs of years gone by.
Yeah, that's
rare. Very, very rare that you're going to have anything like that. And again, they might have done it because they were concerned he was going to storm out. Again, we don't know what precipitated the contract. Rarely, if ever, do teams do anything out of the goodness of their heart when it comes to who's on their team. They want to have the best team possible. They want to spend as little as they can to get the best players. And if you've got this glut now with Aiyuk, Samuel, and Pearsall, when there had already been unhappiness from Aiyuk, when Samuel's got the bloated salary that he hasn't really lived up to the past year or two, you got to make some decisions. And it sounds like they were open for business. There was a report from Mike Silver, the San Francisco Chronicle, that the Steelers were interested in Deebo. They had been interested in Aiyuk. They were interested in Deebo, but they didn't want to give the 49ers what they wanted. So it doesn't happen, but it could still happen at some point down the road. That's what Kyle was starting to say before he stopped himself, lest he create the top headline at PFT.
Yeah, right. That's right. All right. I mean, yeah, you don't know where this can go. Right? Somebody gets hurt on a football team. A team kind of evaluates themselves here to OTAs and minicamp. It goes, damn, we definitely need a receiver. Who has an abundance of them? Oh, that's right. The 49ers got 3. Maybe they'll give us one of them. Whatever. I don't expect that to happen. We'll see where that goes. I do think with the drafting of Ricky Pearsall, kind of like I will say that one of those guys is going to be gone next year. That would be, at least I would say that.
24 or 25?
Oh, for 25? For 25, I think
Yeah.
this year it'll stay status quo with these 3 guys, which is exciting if you're a 49er fan. I mean, these 3 receivers on the field with Kittle and that running game and McCaffrey, man. I mean, yeah, Purdy's got to be extremely happy with what he is surrounded by right now on the offensive side of the ball. But Shanahan, Lynch. They're dancing that fine line, Mike. I mean, you allude to it a lot, right? Relevant. Are you going all in? You winning, right? And it's hard. It's like, yeah, well, I know Shanahan. He wants to win the Super Bowl this year. But does he want to win it to such an extent, kind of like he said there in that press conference, that they have no chance in 25, or maybe it ruins their chance of being in that conversation in 26? And they're trying to dance that fine line of, hey, we can still win it, but we're still trying to keep ourselves available to win it after this year too. And that's where it's tough. And that's where it gets back into the balancing of assets and the Falcons and $180 million to the same position, and one guy's a top 10 pick and he's not going to be playing on the field. That's crazy. That's why the whole league's like, what? All right, but yes, the 49ers are trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's the challenge of having an elite team that you can keep at an elite level without a dip.
Yeah, right.
But also without all in the sense that Jerry Jones originally said it, not in the sense that he has later applied it and tried to warp it and twist it. That deviation from everything's fine, everything's good, we're right here, let's do what we can, let's just do it this year, let's go get it. And if any team is going to be tempted to do that, it's the 49ers, because they've been right there knocking the door. Except for 2020, which was marred by injury. They've been really one of the best teams in all of football. 2019 through 2023, they have been right there with the Chiefs. 2 Super Bowl appearances.
4 NFC
Could have been 2
championship
Super
games.
Bowl wins.
Right.
Yes, they are there, and they're trying to keep it there, and it's just not easy to do because you got to pay your players, and they have the expectation they're going to be compensated. So when do you pay them, and when do you pull the plug on that contract? That's where they are with Aiyuk and Samuel. They're trying to delay paying him, and they're also trying to delay the reckoning that it's time for Samuel to take a lot less or go somewhere else. I mean, he's got like a $20 million salary this year, and he hasn't been at that level lately. All due respect. I mean, we got to call it like it is. He can get back there, I suppose, but it feels like it's starting to dip for him. It's going up for Aiyuk. How do you manage that? You bring in Ricky Pearsall. You're right. Their best play is going to be to hold it together for this year, and I won't rule out the possibility that they move on from Aiyuk or Samuel. The problem is it's 2025 draft picks now.
Yeah.
It's not anybody that's going to make you better this year unless you do a player swap where it's somebody who comes in and you can plug in to your team and make your team a lot better right now.
Yeah, I think they hold the band together, to your point. I think they make another strong push here. They reevaluate after the year, and then it's like, yeah, they figure out, well, Which guy do we want? Do we want Samuel? Do we want Aiyuk? I don't know, right? But I certainly think it could be either one. I wouldn't be shocked if they signed Aiyuk after the year to the long-term extension and then tried to find a way to move Deebo Samuel. Or maybe they keep Deebo and Aiyuk's gone. I don't think I'd be shocked either way there. But I think your point about Deebo is real, right? Last year, 2 years ago, all right, that was the first year of his contract. It was an underwhelming year. He did not kill it. Last year was a good year, but it wasn't great. And he kind of disappeared in the big moments. And, yeah, that's where I think any team would look at that and go, wait, we're paying him like he's a take-over-the-game kind of guy. And, man, in our big games, he's not taking over anything. And that's got to bother the 49ers a little bit.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we return, a game of which doesn't belong and why with some of the receivers drafted this weekend. That's next here on PFT Live. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.